I'm just going to do a test on these two fridges. This is the King's fridge, both similar sizes. I'll put in what litres they are. I know the Roadie's about 15 litres. This is mine, this is my brother's. And just to see how cold they get, I put it up to the maximum. And to see what power draw they draw. They'll both be empty. Only thing they'll have in is the temperature gauge. So we'll give them both a test. I'll plug in the Kings. There we go. It's drawing around 3.7 on startup, and we'll come back in an hour and see what the temperature is. Right, an hour later, the King says it's at -16, and the angle thermometer says -6. So someone's a bit out there. So that's, yeah, so it's been, what I say now, so it's really an hour and a half. But to keep the temperature the same, it's about 25 degrees outside, probably a bit warm here in the shed. So now we'll try I better just see what it's drawing at before I turn it off. Yeah, about 2.6 amps at that. And the motor's still running fairly strongly. So let's try the Bushman. So I've just come back. It's about an hour. This Bushman fridge has been running, and it's drawing 2.2 amps, 2.1. So that's considerably less than the Kings, and we're at -12.3 at the moment. So I may even leave it this overnight and we'll see what it's like in the morning. Just how cold it gets. The Bushman's fridge running all overnight, and the temperature on the angles thing, it's -15.6. I know when I've been camping, I've had it up to -20 with full of food, so that I've got it empty at the moment, just with the temperature gauge in it. So yeah, -15.6, and it's drawing. Let's say 2.1. So I'll write that down, and we'll try the King's one overnight, see what it gets to. Right, it's the next morning. The King's has been going on all night at full bore. It's got it at -12 here on the angles thermometer. And so she's running at the moment, and let's see what it... It's about 2.8 it's running. Right, I've done a quick test on the Bushman and the Kings. As you can see, they're very similar in size. This one has touch button to control it, on-off button, and temperature gauge to read the temperature, which I found is way out. The Bushman just has a dial to dial the temperature. So the end result, the Bushman overnight got to -17.6 Celsius, and the King's the lowest it got was 11.7 overnight. These were both empty when I was testing it. So there's quite a bit of difference there. I said -18 on the King's digital readout, so that's quite a bit out on the readout. So there's a tick to the Bushmans, quite a bit colder. And so, yeah, so the startup current draw, the Bushman's 2.3 to 2.4 amps that is, and then the King's was 3.2, I'll have this up on the screen, to 3.4, so another tick to the Bushman's, that's nearly an amp less while startup running time. And then when it got to temperature, the King's was 2.1 to about, roughly hovers around 2.1 to 2.3, and the King's was about 2.8 to 3, so another tick to the Bushman's, about another 1 amp. Yeah, less. Okay, I had set these, both of them roughly around the 4.5 degrees, seeing what they would be like at that. The Bushman, amperage wise, about 2.28 to 2.3 I was charging, and it ran for about 7 minutes, and then it would turn off for about 18 to 20 minutes to keep that temperature, and it kept a pretty steady temperature around the 4.5. The Kings, while it was running, it was 3.2 to 3.6 amps, and it ran for 2.5 minutes, and it turned off for 5.5 to 6 minutes, where the Bushman turned off for 18 to 20 minutes. And so draw a fraction more power and regular cycled more often. It was a bit harder to get the temperature set properly on that one. It seemed to fluctuate a bit more, but still not a huge difference, just a different cycling. Interesting, the cycling is quite a bit different to that compared to when I had it on deep freeze. So that was running at 4.5 degrees Celsius. So probably a fraction less. That's what your fridge for milk and things would be. So inside the Bushman, just one box, and then it's got a couple of drink holes there, which I think are a bit useless, and it has the dial control, and the lid is a magnetic one. So the Kings, inside the Kings, it's a smaller box, but it has the butter or whatever you want to put in, a special little section just here. If I can get a bit higher, you can see the other section, and it has a different sort of catch, which I think is a bit better than the Bushman. You know it's locked in with that catch. And also the dial at the front, you can just have an on-off button, and you can have your up and down here, but I found the actual temperature thing was quite a bit out. So they both got the vents at the front. Very similar size. Right, so in conclusion, they're both 15 litre fridges at the moment. You can get this one here on special for $149. That's the Kings. The Bushman is about $8.90, $8.85 or something like that. So considerably more. This one on my test got to -16. This one got to -11 or -11 point something. They say it gets to -20, -18 on their dial. It might have, but their dial, their temperature setting was quite a bit out, I found. This one with full of food, I got to -20, and it stayed like that quite a bit on my trips. I don't know what this one got full of food. The Bushman seems to cycle less, and also draws about 1 less amp less than the Kings. But this one again, if you're just running it as a fridge, at $149 isn't bad value. I'm not sure how long it'll last, but yeah, considerably cheaper. But as a deep freeze, and I've had this now for over a year or two now, and so as a deep freeze, which I use it for all the time through really hot weather and everything, it's kept out my food from -15 to -20 consistently, and so it's been great as a deep freeze.